Coming up, a new season on the PBA Elite League begins, with 2 championship teams among the 4 taking to the lanes today, starting with the reigning Alliance Cup champion Waco Wonders, led by the legend Parker Bone III. And later, the star-studded Portland Lumberjacks with the big nasty Wes Malott and Kyle Troop. Team bowling is next on FS1. Welcome to Royal Pin Woodland, Indianapolis, Indiana, for the PBA Elite League, presented by Snickers. Enthusiasm, yeah, we got it. No, we're not in Maine. We are in Indiana. Welcome, everybody, along with Hall of Famer Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler, who will be along shortly. I'm Dave Lamont, filling in this weekend. Well, Randy, this is the 10th year of the PBA Elite League, but we're taking it for the first time on the road.
You're right. Hey, and welcome back, my friend.
Thank you, my friend.
You're right. I mean, for the first time in the history of the PBA League, it actually feels like a league. We're talking about 14 rounds of league competition, culminating throughout the 2024 season. Some small changes. We've gone from 10 teams to 8. We've also added a player, which gives the teams options for substitutions. But at the end of qualifying, remember, only 6 teams advance to the finale at Bayside Bowl in Portland, Maine.
And we've already had action in the league, and the cool thing about this is you'll be able to follow this with standings like any other sport. So let's use a soccer term here. At the top of the table, Vegas and Akron at 2-0. Portland, who we're going to see later on against New Jersey, they're in action. And the other matchup today will be Waco versus Motown. Both those teams looking for their first dub of the season. As a matter of fact, let's start meeting these teams right now, beginning with the defending champion, Waco Wonders. Hall of Fame veteran Parker Bone III is the leader of the most recent champions in the PBA League, the Waco Wonders. But this year, the Wonders have 4 new members, with only 2023 League MVP Ryan Simonelli returning to join Bone on the Alliance Cup winning team.
Let's meet the Waco Wonders. DJ Archer. Ryan Simonelli. Tom Hess. Mitch Hupe. Stuart Williams.
Come on, boys. Come on.
The Waco Wonders are managed by player, PBA Hall of Famer, Parker Bone III. Let's meet their opponents, the Motown Muscle.
With 2 of the sport's very best on its roster, the Motown Muscle are always ready to flex. Reigning Player of the Year E.J. Tackett and 5-time major champion Anthony Simonson are leading a team whose best finish was second to New York in the inaugural Alliance Cup Championship.
Let's meet the Motown Muscle, Sam Cooley.
It's just random order, I think it's just random order.
Justin Knowles. Anthony Simonson. Jason Sterner. E.J. Tackett. Zach Tackett. The Motown Muscle are managed by PBA Hall of Famer Jason Couch.
have the lineups for you in a moment or two, but we want to remind you about the race to 2. And Randy, this also has been changed a little bit. I love the idea here at the bottom. If after 2 games were even, the shootout is a little bit different.
Yeah, a little winner's shootout with 3 players being selected to throw 3 shots, total pins, and whoever wins that will win that game and win the match. If there's a tie after those 3 players on each side, we'll go to the next player on that roster for 1 shot.
And by the way, there's no spare shooting either. So you roll your shot, and that is it. But you know, 1993, this same pair of lanes, what we now call the Players' Championship. Here's Parker Bone, the third, needs to strike, doesn't do it. You let Jason Couch in the house. What do you think Jason's going to do? He's going to win with that shot right there. 2 legendary lefties in 1993 for a major championship. And guess who's standing by with Kimberly right now?
Thanks, Dave. What a full circle moment it is for you two watching that video right here. Just over 30 years ago, you guys are here on this exact pair of lanes going for a championship. Parker, that day, he actually walked away the victor. So I got to ask you, do you have any revenge set up for him this afternoon?
I think it's 30 years in the making, so just be prepared for it.
Well, you know what they say about revenge, it's best served cold, right?
Listen, I whooped his butt then, and I'm going to do it again today.
Well, let's talk about the match because you guys are the defending champions. But after the draft, you actually only have 2 of your original members. So I got to ask you, are they ready to defend that title?
I think they all are. You know, we had a long team meeting there, tried to figure everything out, and we've got our best foot forward. We're ready to come out here and play. You be ready, mister.
Those are some fighting words right there, Parker. So, Jason, I got to ask you about your team because on paper, you guys, people describe you as the absolute powerhouse of a team, but you guys are coming off of a loss. So how would you describe your team?
My team is young and ready to win. We're not going to let Pops beat us today.
Nothing else needs to be said here. Back to you guys.
By the way, they're not kidding.
Well, they were tour roommates forever.
Let's look at the Waco lineup. Tom Hess is going to be bowling the first and 6th frames in our Baker format. DJ Archer, a literally last-minute change with Machupe going to the bench. Parker 3rd and 8th frames. Stu Williams 4 and 9. And your anchor, the MVP from last year, Ryan Simonelli. The Motown 5 is chosen by Jason Couch. Jason Sterner to lead it off. Then Zach Tackett, frames 2 and 7. Justin Knowles, the man in the middle. And then how do you decide between the next 2? Well, E.J. Tackett will take 4 and 9 for this game. Anthony Simonson 5 and 10. You can substitute if you desire, but that bowler who substitutes in must finish the game. After a game, if you want to retweak your lineup, go right ahead.
It's a good problem to have E.J. Tackett and Simonson on the same team trying to figure out who's going to be your anchor player, right?
And the Iowan Tom Hess, a fixture on the PBA 50 tour. Coming through perfectly on frame number 1.
Big Tom Hess.
And Tom's an emotional dude. He will fire these guys up if he senses they're not ready.
This guy's had a serious turnaround in his career the last 3 or 4 years. Jason Sterner put a lot of work in.
Okay, got a couple. It should be a very makeable shot for Jason.
Jason going with the urethane ball. Comes up a bit light, but a nice break, tripping the 4 out late.
Ooh, a little scary for the 3-time titleist, but it's okay. Nobody gets hurt. This is all total pins, by the way. There's nothing fancy about this. It's very direct. Dancing DJ Archer stepping in, 2-time titleist. And a double to start.
Yeah, good start as well. And DJ's going with that urethane ball pretty straight on this 38-foot Wayne Webb oil pattern.
And we'll break that down a little bit later on in our program. Take a look now at Zach Tackett, looking for that first PBA Tour title. Another player whose fortunes have improved over the last year or two.
Absolutely. Really upped his game the last year and a half.
And Messenger, bingo, Uncle Zach, as he is now known, coming through. He'll be back in the 7th frame. Well, here's the guy who's won about 1,500 PBA Tour titles. I might be light there.
60 years old, 40 years of pro.
And still good.
Still really good.
Isn't that insane?
Great shot, big boy. Go, Hawk. You still got it.
Waco coming out of the gates perfect, but this guy, Parker Bone III, has been doing it for a very long time.
He'll be back in the 8th frame now. Get a good look at Justin Knowles. First two-hander. Mixer.
Check in.
Well, light hit, catches a 10 late, and that's a good thing to happen for Motown. Working on a strike, they double up.
I always think of Beastu in team competition and how deadly he is.
He's always been really good in this competition.
Yes, sir. Another Messenger. This time it's for Waco and 4 for 4.
Well, Zach Tackett had a messenger, so Stu steps up and says, well, I'll see your messenger and I'll raise you one.
Never a doubt about it, too. Watch the head pin. Well, here's a Hoosier.
Oh, boy.
I'm temporarily speechless.
Whoops. Come on, run it down.
This one just gets away from him at the bottom of the swing, loses it right. And just not enough friction to keep it on the lane. Missed it at the release point, got it going in the wrong direction, and it falls in.
And it's going to be the first open frame of this game, number 1 of 2, or possibly 2 and a third games, in case we have to go to a shootout in the race for 2. Well, here's a man, another one who I think of immediately, who's had some of the biggest shots in PBA Elite League history.
Well, he owned him at Bayside last year throughout this competition.
He had a little gutter flirtation there as well.
A lot of speed and a lot of revolutions. But Ryan Simonelli in Portland, Maine last year was unbeatable.
And we know they're watching in Portland, I can tell you that. Freddie Mitchell and the gang over there are definitely tuned in.
Rain fillers are good.
Oh, here's the number 1 seed for tomorrow's U.S. Open show.
Yeah, speaking of tuned in, this guy's tuned in, dialed in.
As good as it gets in the sport right now. He's got a little extra work there behind that 3-6-10.
3-6-9-10, and the challenge is the back pin, the 9 pin. You got to get the ball to cover that back pin.
No trouble for Anthony. So through 5, a 4-bagger start for the Waco Wonders gives them an advantage in the early going in this race to 2. Don't forget, we also have another match coming up, the Lumberjacks and the Kingpins. The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Bolero, the #1 place to bowl, party, and play, with over 340 locations nationwide. Head to Bolero.com today to find a center near you. So halfway through our opening game, Waco with a pretty good advantage after the 4-bagger and an open frame against their opponents, the Motown Muscle. Randy, let's take a look at our oil pattern today, named after the great Wayne Webb.
Hall of Famer Wayne Webb, and this is the same pattern that we used last month at the Players Championship, 38 feet in length. It was very high scoring last week. You can see where the players are going to play on both sides of the lane. A lot of urethane going down the right lane early on. We'll see how that affects the teams after game one, because they're going to flip-flop lanes. Right now I'm going to take it down to the coach of Motown and Jason Couch. Jason, what happened with that shot in the 4th frame by E.J. Tackett?
Well, Randy, he told me he just got a little tight waiting with the announcements and everything, and just said he just got a little soft with his hand. Ball never hooked, went in the gutter.
All right, so what do you tell your team now to try to get back into this?
Bro, we're just going to regroup here right at the halfway point, and we're just going to start striking and force them to fill some frames.
I mean, because Parker was talking a lot of smack prior to the start of this game.
I know, man, I know. You got to ride me about that already?
All right.
And back we go. There's Parker Bone III, who did his job as the player manager. 41-pin advantage. If we have a tied game, then we will go to the classic 1-ball roll-off. If we have a 1-1 after 2 games, then we will go to a 3-frame roll-off. Tom Hess struck the first time up. And that went right through the nose. Now, Tom is an excellent spare shooter, so I'm not going to rule out him having the possibility of making this.
You can make this. Come on.
See the miss inside by about 2.5 boards.
Come on, Tom.
And Tom's going to try to get the ball over here to the right side of that 3-pin and drive it into the 7. The ball should take out the 6 and 10. That's the idea.
35% conversion rate on the tour.
Oh, get it! Come on!
Now a little too much 3-pin, and in fact, that leaves 2 on the deck.
Let's go.
So that's the first open frame against Waco.
An open frame and a loss of count. And that 41-pin deficit is now only 25.
Jason Sterner, a member of the champions a year ago. Now going against them.
Yeah, much better shot.
He went 8 spare the first time up, had a no-doubter in frame number 6. So he's finished. If you're not familiar with the Baker format, this will be his last shot of the game. That's the other thing that makes it pressure-packed in a way. You're getting 2 cracks at the apple. That's it.
Yeah, and for the older players, you have to wait around a lot in between shots.
And Archer, boy, that held beautifully at the end.
Great shot.
Way to pick him up.
You can see the numbers there. You said it. That ball held nicely.
So he doubles.
Almost 3 boards left on that shot there for DJ, but using the urethane ball and keeping it on-line helped that ball reach the 1-3 perfectly.
Zach Tackett's first shot in his PBA Elite League debut was flush.
Yeah, big left. You can see it right there. That was big time left
Run it down, buddy.
for Zach. He's got a little bit of his brother style in there. Right now facing just the 3-pin. So a nice break, tripping out the 10 and the 9. Covers it nicely.
So Johnny Petraglia was the manager last year for the Waco Wonders and decided with the extra travel that he thought Parker Bone III would be the man to take over. That's a pretty smart choice. Parker and Ryan Simonelli were protected. So in the first round, Stu Williams was selected, then Mitch Hupe, DJ Archer, and then Tom Hess was Parker's last. And again, these guys see each other a lot on the PBA 50 tour. They know each other, they know their games very well. And Parker through the nose.
And letting the muscle hang around a little bit. No surprise with the Stu Williams pick as their first draftee, but He's been so good throughout the team competition. I think that a lot of folks were surprised in the Tom Hess pick. He doesn't bowl a lot on the regular tour anymore.
No, that's true. He does not. He is a fixture on the PBA 50. He became Hall of Fame eligible this summer, did Tom. The past summer now, 2023. But
I don't think that one came off very good.
I think Parker just went with somebody that he knows very, very well.
Yeah, congrats to Tom Hess on that. Parker here, a little skinny on the 247, but he still covers it. Motown still with a chance. Max scored 218, I believe. They got to start striking and keep striking.
Boy, that was a sharp right turn into the pocket. And Justin Knowles. So he doubles personally. So we talk about Stu Williams and all he has done as a PBA Elite League bowler. And he comes up in a pretty critical situation here to try to push Motown a couple of steps backwards. Second gutter ball of the day, one for each team, and you got it. And unfortunately, you got a really good look at it.
That was coming right through your TV set.
All right, so what's causing this now? This is a little unusual.
So it's too much direction to the right and a miss hit at the bottom, so the ball doesn't grab the lane. It just hydroplanes going in that direction, and it's going to go in. This should be left.
And look at the max scores, how this match has changed. When we came back from break, it was 41 pins in favor of Waco, and they're down by now it's just 2. E.J. Tackett will be in the first match of the U.S. Open tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern live on Fox against Bill O'Neill. There you go. Ooh.
He liked it, too.
He wasn't the only one.
Thought I aced that, dude.
I think his teammates are in shock. That pin paid a terrible price.
Oh, I thought
Well,
I aced that.
Waco strikes out for 200. Motown, the best they can do is 198.
Crazy.
Here's your MVP from last season.
And that messenger is not going to get there. So that changes the max, as you see. And that opens the door now for Motown to take the first game in this race for 2.
Ryan's playing extreme outside part of the lane, but his direction is a lot more direct. He's not throwing it sideways, so not much danger of him throwing it in unless he really misses. You know, it's tough too because the players that are playing that angle, they know that they have to get it to the right for the right-handers, because if they get it going up the lane, there's not enough oil to hold it off. It's going to go through the nose. They get it too far to the right, it's 0.
It's literally 0. And that messenger's not going to make it either. So 189 for Waco in game number 1. Now, something else to think of down the road. Total pinfall is a tiebreaker here.
Yeah. Right now for the win, Simonson needs a double and 2 pins.
By the way, we mentioned the 4 and 5 seeds. Might as well mention the seeds behind Anthony Simonson. 3rd seed, Kyle Troop. 2nd seed, Jason Belmonte. Look out. Our second 3-6-10. Each team has had one of those.
And after, I'm sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Waco's won it.
Yeah, and after all that mess. I mean, and look how Waco started off. They were perfect through 4, and then it was an open frame in the 6th, an open frame in the 9th. No more doubles after that 4th frame. It was real messy for both teams.
Each team had a gutter go against them. So a surprising finish to this, just how flat it would have been. But it's an advantage for the Wonders. They are halfway on the race for 2 with a dub. So we'll see now what the 2 managers will do during our break. Will they change their lineup? Will Mitch Upe make an appearance? Is Jason Couch going to do something different to shake up his team? Who's going to win this one? Find out coming up. An enthusiastic group here at Royal Pin Woodland. It'll be a different atmosphere in here tomorrow when this 5 gets together for the U.S. Open presented by Go Bowling. Simonson, Belmo, Troop, Tackett, O'Neill. Only Kyle doesn't have a U.S. Open title. I think I was told 26 or 28 major championships among these 5.
Yeah, it's like over 80 wins. I can't remember the last time I've seen a U.S. Open lineup like this. Incredible.
And 2 of those guys are standing by with Kimberly right now.
Thanks, guys. So, Anthony, tomorrow you have a big day going into the U.S. Open as the #1 seed, but you got to get through the PBA Elite League tonight. What happened in that last shot?
The first one wasn't a very good one. Second one, a little bit better. I thought it would push to the front of the lane a little bit. It didn't. We got another game here, so we're hopefully going to come out strong and put a little pressure on them early.
All right, well, good luck to you. And EJ, not the best showing out here. It's very uncharacteristic to see you bowl and get a gutter ball, but what changes are you guys going to make on that left side? Because you guys still have a chance to push for a roll-off.
Yeah, well, the first thing is keep it on the lane. So I'm going to try to do that. But, it's just going to make really good shots, try to apply some pressure early, and hopefully we can do that and get into that roll-off.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
And that roll-off will happen if they do indeed even this match. I should say 28 is the correct number of the major titles among those 5 boulders. We're waiting to see. We have not received any word yet on lineup changes, and Jason Sterner grabbing the ball first for Motown tells us that at least he remains in that leadoff position. Boy, 7-10 was there for a blink of an eye. So kind of a weak 10 there for Sterner.
Yeah, that's the old urethane flat 10. Used to keep me up at night. Of course, back then, that's all we had was urethane. Back when I first started on tour.
You know what? I have not mentioned this yet, but you own this building.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, wait a minute.
I've had some success in this building.
Yes, you have. You own a title in this building. Let's not overlook that.
That was very memorable. For me, anyway. Not a lot of people remember that.
Well, some people do. All right, here's Tom. He stays in the leadoff position. He struck on his first ball and then left a 3-6-10, which he wasn't able to convert in his second in game #1. Waco leading 1-0. That's a little more like it.
Tommy's putting on a nice show. And you do not want to see him angry.
I have.
You do not want to see him mad. He kind of turns like green, and all of a sudden his shirt starts to shred.
Turns into Bill Bixby, is that what you're saying? Big heart on that man, big heart.
He is a very kind man, but I never want to have to wrestle him, ever.
Oh no, he's an intense competitor. All right, so this is a lineup shift here, did we not? Zach was perfect. Not a lineup change, so he stayed in the #2 position. So so far, we're holding steady. And we have officially been told no changes to the lineups. So interestingly, that means Sam Cooley was not chosen. And Archer, drove the 5 out. And Mitch Upe has stayed in the outfield.
DJ Archer going along nicely. The only player on that Waco team using urethane. Remember, urethane and reactive resin, 2 completely different animals. And that's his signature loft. He loves lofting it.
No way. Yes way. There we go. That was one of the longer trips a messenger will have to take. And the Just Right strike is brought to you by Just Bear, the mindful choice for high-quality protein with no antibiotics ever. Just Right. Just Bear. And back to live action just in time for Parker to reignite the flame for Waco.
And just like in game one, Waco off to a perfect start. Now E.J. Tackett looking to redeem himself. How about 21 titles in 4 majors? I think he's 30.
Well, that was a sharp turn.
Hit his elbow, man. God.
What would he say about his elbow there, Randy?
I only caught the elbow part. I didn't hear the beginning of it. With his swing so out to in, it's, yeah, he says he turned his elbow early. And when the elbow flies early, the hand goes with it. Look out.
Oh,
And you got to ask yourself, how much of that is fatigue from an absolute massive grind of the U.S. Open prior to this event?
no. And EJ yesterday in the final 8 games was fighting off a few challengers for that the 4th and 5th spots. Come on. Boo Kroll was going after him. Don Barrett was going after him. And yes, this U.S. Open that preceded this is exhausting.
Big left.
Oh, wow.
That is as far left as you can miss and still keep it on the lane.
Come on.
So Tim Mack, who's managing the Lumberjacks, said he was going to watch every shot of this, which is not surprising knowing Timmy.
Sure.
We know him. What do you think he's thinking right now?
Well, he's basically drawing up a blueprint. Hang on. Wow, very fortunate. He's
best celebration for that spare I've ever seen.
What a spare, baby! Let's go!
I'm gonna lay out. Let's take this one. Ball change for Simonson on the left lane, and they need to get back after it after the open frame. My goodness. Getting back to your question about Tim Mack, he's basically making a mental blueprint of how to attack this oil pattern in his mind to relay to his team. Get the ball over here, left side of that head pin, cut it over into the 10.
Thought he might go to the backup ball there instead. Oh, good heavens. A ringing 10 on a spare?
Yeah, head pin around the 10 pin.
Not bad, guys.
And that's just a crappy break.
Averaging 6. That's not very good.
You know, you make the one bad shot, you come back with a good one, and you get kicked right in the jejunum.
Oh, and that is painful.
Ball change for Simonelli. Same result. That lazy 7-pin. 3 in a row now for Ryan Simonelli. Can't get it to come around the corner sharp enough or soon enough. Ball's pushing down the lane just a little too far for Ryan.
That's no trouble at all for Simonelli, so there's still a good lead for Waco, but it got close last time. They took a big lead into our last commercial break.
Tom Doherty just sent me a text, said Tim Mack's message to his team, throw urethane.
And we welcome you back inside Royal Pin Woodland, just outside Indianapolis. Want to remind you of our registration for the 2024 PBA LBC National Championships, now open to bowlers of all skill levels and from all centers. The PBA LBC National Championships is heading to a new location outside Chicago and includes 2 new junior divisions. You can compete in singles and optional doubles and team events, even combine your scores with the pros. Enter today at pba.com/LBC tournament. understandably, Randy, when you look at the Motown muscle, you look at the two guys at the top of the food chain here, E.J. Tackett and Anthony Simonson, but it has not been their day so far.
Yeah, and keep in mind that they bowled on 5 different oil patterns the last week. There's a lot of fatigue involved. 56 games just in the U.S. Open, and now they're battling this. And again, you have to ask yourself, like, how much fatigue, how much mental fatigue, and then again, a different oil pattern. But I think, you know, I think our good friend Tom Doherty brings up a great point. When you start missing the head pin left and you throw it in the gutter, maybe urethane is the best way to go, because at least if nothing else, you can keep it online and at the 1-3 pocket for the right-handers. Jason stayed with it the entire time, and I think his worst shot, he got 8.
And that was his first shot.
And that was his first shot. He went light. Everything else has been in the pocket.
Well, that's Jason's last shot of this game and possibly of the day. Waco leading 1-0 in this race for 2. Should the Motown muscle make the comeback, then we would have a 3-frame roll-off to decide who wins. 3 shots, actually, for not full frames. Hess for a double. Oh, big double for Tom Hess. A personal double. So he strikes on 3 of his 4 shots.
Yeah, he's done a brilliant job. First time in this format for Tom. Big Tom Hess. Yeah, you don't want to give him too many high fives. He'll need hand surgery.
Gotta go.
See, there's that squirt spot again. You get it right to that spot, it never picks up. And you look at strike track right here, you get it just a little bit too far to the right, it hangs. He's got a 5-count washout, a little bit inside, and it goes through the nose of Brooklyn. You know, how much of that is created by the urethane that went down?
No, sir.
The game before, but it was only DJ Archer.
All right, bro.
They're in deep trouble.
45 down, and DJ Archer's been bowling well today. Both these teams 0-1 as we are wrapping up round 2 today. Lumberjacks and Kingpins will be next. But he's got that hold again.
How about DJ Archer's been perfect?
Yep.
With the urethane ball, just piping it.
Reason why you want to play him any different.
That extra lob helps clean up the front part of the lane so his ball doesn't read early. And all he's doing is piping it right to the 1-3.
And right before we hit air, he was a last-second substitution.
Yep.
Swapped out Mitch Hupe for DJ. Clearly, Parker Bone III made the right call. And it is just one of those days for the Motown muscle, no matter who it is. Other than Jason Sterner, who's thrown the ball well, the rest of the team is just not in sync.
What a nightmare. This could possibly be their 4th open in 5 frames. Possibly a little slow with the ball speed on that shot. Can he slide it? Nope. Looks like Motown and that stacked team is going to go to 0-2. And Waco is going to even their record at 1-1.
Let's see what the many-time champion will do for one last shot. Oh. So Parker, in his dual role, interesting thing he said to us earlier today about why he decided to bowl. And he said, you know, I've won
about that one. Come on,
X number of titles. I've defended my championship in every title I ever won but one time. And he said, I felt like I'm a defending champion here. I should bowl. I should defend it. He did.
They got way harder. I don't need it. Maybe, I don't know.
Interesting statement for E.J. Tackett, saying they got way harder. and he will be in the first match tomorrow at 3:30 on Fox against Bill O'Neill.
Yeah, he can't wait to get off of this pair. Hey, put the U.S. Open pattern back down, please. That's what he is thinking.
This is our pair tomorrow. Mitch Hupé is going to get a look. So Stu Williams will sit this one out. Mitch will get a ball to roll. One-time titleist. Seen him around in this PBA Elite League before. Now, everything's working for Waco.
That's a great shot for a guy who hasn't thrown a shot in an hour.
No. That's talent right there. Parker Bone pushing all the right buttons today.
I think Stu's going to have to buy dinner.
And Anthony.
More than 6. Got more than 6.
So no strikes for
my spare
E.J.
ball.
Tackett. And no strikes for Simonson. You could have, if you'd parlayed that, you'd have a summer home someplace.
Yeah, you could have made a lot of money if you had taken the under.
You're good, bro.
So this is over. It is going to be 1-1 for the defending champion Waco Wonders. And by the way, the next of the PBA League events is coming almost tomorrow, practically. Or actually, I think it's Monday in the Chicago area. And that'll be on Bowl TV. So if you don't see the PBA Elite League on Fox, you can always watch it on Bowl TV. Just keep up with the PBA.com as to what network or streaming service will have it. So you can watch it anytime. And, well, he had been flirting.
The guy that I didn't think would throw it in. Parker's like, what?
Well, it's one of the rare times when you can laugh.
Oh, no, I knew it wasn't.
You can laugh at a gun.
I mean, what an ugly match.
Good grief.
You know what? That sums it right up. Good grief indeed, as the Wonder defeats the Muscle 2-0.
So you say you want to bowl the U.S. Open, do you? I mean, look what it's done to some of the greatest players on the planet. And then the guys that didn't bowl the U.S. Open, look how fresh they look.
You think Belmo and O'Neill are sitting back in lounge chairs right now?
They're like, oh, better you than me. But I think Parker, look how good Parker bowled and Tom Hess, and they didn't bowl the U.S. Open.
One win. Getting us up the ladder. That's all that matters. Waco Wonders, baby. Watch us.
And he even things with Couch, too. Speaking of buying the dinner. And Kimberly's going to grab Parker right now. Go ahead.
Parker, so I got to ask you, guys struggled in that first match, but you walked away with the win. You guys got on this right lane, and then you guys just ran away with it. What changed for you guys?
Well, I think it was momentum from the first 4 or 5 frames. We started out really strong, and then all of a sudden we lost a little bit. But when we came over here to the right lane, we jumped right back on board, and I think that propelled us to win 2-0.
Well, congratulations on your win today.
Thank you very much. Happy birthday, Jane.
All right, we have one more match to go for PBA Elite League to wrap up round number 2. It's CDB and her New Jersey Kingpins against the Portland Lumberjacks. So the Waco Wonders get the W in the PBA Elite League to go to 1-1 while dropping the Motown Muscle to 0-2. Now our second match, it'll be the Lumberjacks taking on the Kingpins. So we have an updated look at our standings. You see the Waco now moving into the top 6 at 1-1. The Kingpins sitting there at 0-1. Remember, the top 6 in the fall, when this starts to wrap up, are the ones going to the playoffs. The bottom 2 are going to have to watch it on television. Las Vegas and Akron sitting at the top, and Motown at 0-2. And that's a surprise, Randy, because you've got Tackett and Simonson. But I think your point about some U.S. Open fatigue really hangs true here.
Yeah, I think it does, and it should. I mean, there's some shots thrown by both those players that you don't see them throw. And again, I think it's because of the fact that they went 56 games in one of the, if not the most grueling tournament we have on the PBA Tour, the U.S. Open. And then they have to gear up again for tomorrow's telecast. So a lot going on for those two players. But I suspect that the next match that we see is going to be very heavily laden with urethane bowling balls going down the lane.
You know, maybe after the Open, Randy, those guys just need a break. Maybe they need to take some time off from bowling, and that leads us to this week's issue of Pressing Questions with Kimberly Pressler. Take it away.
Mitch, what's the longest period of time that you've taken off from bowling while you have been a pro?
Maybe a week. Yeah, a lot of pros can take off like a few weeks, a month even, and just roll right back into it, but not me. I lose feel like way too easily.
What's the longest that you've ever gone without bowling in your professional career?
Ooh, I think 5 weeks. 6 weeks probably? Probably never more than 2 weeks.
Maybe about 2 months, I want to say.
Graham, what is the longest time period that you have just not bowled while you were a pro?
Probably 4 to 6 weeks.
Why?
I broke my arm rollerblading with my dog.
Every year I normally like to take a month off or so. I'll bowl league still, but it's not anything competitive. Just hanging out with the buddies, having a couple drinks, and that's kind of my stepping away from the game, is just doing nothing competitive.
Kevin, what is the longest period that you've gone without bowling during your professional career?
That's funny because it was actually this off season. I bowled minimum amount. I just moved to California and I was just living it up. So I haven't touched a bowling ball very much coming into this season. And we're still confident though, I think. I think.
All right, so my pressing question to you is, in your heyday when you were dominating.
Dominating?
Well, what else would you call it? How long did you go?
Well, when I wasn't having knee surgery, I was kind of like Mitch Hoope. I had to practice all the time. I was a feel guy, and in order to have any kind of feel, I had to practice all the time. So I think the most during my touring days was probably 2 weeks. But before we go away, I got to call BS on EJ Tackett, because during his month off from bowling, he didn't mention one thing about playing golf. And I know for a fact that's what he was doing with his buddies.
I think everybody knew that already. I just can't imagine showing up for league and saying, wait a minute, I'm bowling against him this week?
But EJ has been practicing. We'll be fine.
He's tired from playing golf. All right, we're ready for our second match. Motown, having lost, it'll be the Kingpins taking on the Lumberjacks. Let's meet the teams right now, beginning with Portland.
No team's roster is more stacked than the Portland Lumberjacks. The Superstar squad has won 3 of the last 4 Elias Cup championships, and most of last year's lineup is back in 2024, including Wes Malott, Chris Prather, Kyle Troop, and the fiery Arturo Quintero.
Let's meet the Portland Lumberjacks. Graham Fa. Chris Prather. Arturo Quintero.
See you, let's go.
Wes Malott. Tom Smallwood. Kyle Troop.
Apiece right here.
The Portland Lumberjacks are managed by USBC Hall of Famer Tim Mack. Let's meet their opponents, the New Jersey Kingpins.
Yeah!
They were the team to win the first ever Elias Cup championship. And today, a new generation of New Jersey Kingpins will try to do it again. Leading the charge is veteran Kingpin Marshall Kent. He'll be joined by league regulars B.J. Moore, Packy Hanrahan, Chris Barnes, and Kyle Sherman.
Here are the New Jersey Kingpins. Chris Barnes. Packy Hanrahan. Marshall Kent.
Boys, come on. That's right.
B.J. Moore.
Kill him with kindness.
Kyle Sherman.
Come on,
Richie Teese. The New Jersey Kingpins are managed by Hall of Famers Carolyn Doran Ballard and Del Ballard Jr.
Do we walk out there?
Make sure your second shot's really good.
We will have the lineups for you in just a moment. The lanes are not being re-oiled, so I'll get Randy's thoughts on that when we come back to finish off round 2 of the PBA Elite League. It'll be the Kingpins versus the Lumberjacks next. Now let's take a look at our Bowl TV highlights. First off, the Las Vegas High Rollers in round 1 took out the Motown Muscle 2-0. And in round 2 took out the Dallas Strikers 2-0 with Andrew Anderson, A.J. Johnson, Matt Ogle, Matt Russo, Sean Rash, Thomas Larson, and that's managed by the great Amleto Monticelli. The Akron Atom Splitters defeated New Jersey 2-0 and took down LAX 2-0. That team is Chris Vai, Jesper Svensson, Francois Lavoie, Tom Doherty, Dick Allen, Nick Pate, and Mark Baker is in charge of that potent squad. And there's CDB, an intense competitor in her own right, without question.
They don't call her the Honey Badger for nothing.
No, and let's not forget about her husband, a Hall of Famer if there ever was one. So there's the lineup for Portland, and big news at the anchor position. First off, Graham Faw, Arturo Quintero, Chris Prather, Kyle Troop, and Wes Malott. Just a few days ago, Wes was in some real problem with his back. Spent a little time in a hospital, and was literally a game-time decision, according to Tim Mack. And the good news is the Big Nasty will be out there.
Yeah, he had to withdraw from the U.S. Open during qualifying.
Here we go.
And we are awaiting the lineup from New Jersey. But I guess we'll find out here real soon. So Graham Faw, 1 title. And the question is, will this be Rainin Urethane?
Good start, good lead.
And the Kingpins just revealed it'll be Richie Teese, Kyle Sherman, Marshall Kent, B.J. Moore, and Packy Hanrahan. So Chris Barnes will be sitting out game number 1. Some of the older bowlers actually did pretty well in the first match.
I'd say he did pretty well in Portland last September in the league series. Was that man right there, Graham Faw.
So Richie Teese from England, absolutely one of the nicest people you'll ever meet with a bowling ball in his hand.
He really is. He's got game too.
And you see Richie, Kyle Sherman, Marshall, BJ, and Packy. That looked like the DJ Archer shot.
Yeah, that's the same ball DJ was using.
I thought so.
That's your thing. When they start to get goofy, or if you try to trap it and keep the ball on line, it's the easiest way to do it. You know, there's others that have so many tricks. They can actually do it with their hand. They can trick up the reactive resin balls, but for the most part, you see players using urethane, and that's exactly what Arturo Quintero is going to do right here.
And yes, his home center is indeed Bayside Bowl. Ooh, a little late kiss on the 9.
And as you can see, the Portland team, their fans travel well. Kind of like the Packers and the Steelers.
And the Buffalo people. And we didn't have
there
any.
They are.
Yeah, nobody broke any tables in the parking lot either, so we're happy about that. Yeah, they've got the Kyle Wiggs also. Well, Tim Mack told us we'll have some fans here, and he wasn't kidding. Kyle Sherman.
Hates it.
And he has good reason to.
But, you know, that's okay. He missed a little bit in. He knew it as soon as it left his hand. But look at the lead with the urethane ball, the 3-6.
What do you think might have happened with reactive?
Well, it'd have been going sideways through the head pin, and it would have probably left a big 5-count split.
And we saw plenty of those in the opening match.
You know, it could have been anything. Big 4, it could have been Greek church, it could have been something that's not easily makeable. This is. %, of the time, the 3-6 is made every time.
That a boy.
And that's brought to us by our great friends from Lane Talk. For more information, head on over to lanetalk.com.
It's quite pungent. Stings at the nostrils.
Thanks, Ron.
And that's just going to drop off. So 2 pins left for Chris Prather.
And that left lane looked so nasty in our last match that the urethane ball makes perfect sense. Prather a little too much up the lane, but again, a very makeable 6-10 left for Chris Prather.
Not overjoyed about it, but it's clean.
Yeah, but I still think you could cheat it a little bit and give it away a little bit. You're gonna throw it that slow and gnaw on it that much. I think you cheat it a little bit and roll it at it. Okay. Right.
Another fixture in the PBA Elite League, 5-time titleist Marshall Kent.
And he's using,
let me guess, starts with a U. Oof.
Ends in an E.
Wow, power from Marshall.
We've got 6 shots thrown. All 6 shots have been thrown with urethane. Beautiful shot there by Marshall Kent. And here's our 7th urethane ball. Our 7th player stepping out, and Kyle Troop takes to the left lane.
I think Kyle would like to bowl in this kind of environment all the time. He so thrives in this kind of deal.
No argument here.
Lighter, but not greater. And by the way, going back to your theory earlier, Andy, which I totally buy into, of this is another guy who's just had gone through this washing dryer cycle of the U.S. Open, of 56 games, different patterns every single day, and now he's stepping into this team situation.
Yeah, he's right there in the same canoe with E.J. Tackett and Anthony Simonson.
This just in, Jason Belmonte and Bill O'Neill have both awakened in their hotels from naps. Their feet are up. They are relaxing. They will also be on tomorrow's U.S. Open show. Another guy. Boy, you think of PBA Elite League, you better include B.J. Moore in your thoughts. And I love what Carolyn Doran-Ballard said about B.J. Moore earlier. That when he gets up there, he stops thinking and he just bowls. And that was meant as a compliment, if you're wondering. the fact that he doesn't let things cloud his mind when he's on the approach.
Well, he's been on a couple of winning teams. BJ is 150% on every shot he throws. But this man here, yeah, what a story. We touched on it earlier about the back injury, but you know, he actually led the U.S. Open after day one. He was in the top 24 when he had to withdraw. Our first look at reactive in this match.
And what? Oh, wow! You could see the 10 wobble. You just didn't know if he was going to get a break on it. Holy smokes, is that a fortunate break for Wes and for the Lumberjacks.
Massive break right here. The 10-pin tipping forward into the 6, only leaving the 4-7. That is a huge break.
And right behind him, actually, Tom Smallwood, the alternate for this game. All right, Wes looks okay there.
Yeah, and I mean, the big fella wouldn't go if he didn't feel like he could contribute, right?
Right, and Tim would not put him in the lineup if he didn't think he was physically good to go. And so Tim giving him a couple of little pointers there. Tim's got a pro shop in this building.
He certainly does. Beautiful pro shop. This just in, another urethane ball getting ready to be heaved. That's a good one.
Little carnage created there by Packy Hanrahan, and we have a very close match through 5 here. The Lumberjacks leading by only 3 as we conclude round 2 of the PBA Elite League. Now available every week until we get to a top 6. And the champion, of course, will be decided at Bayside in September. And the on-lane graphics you see, including the oil patterns, which are projected on today's lanes, are courtesy of our friends at Clutch Bowling. And tonight on Fox, get ready for some Caitlin Clark in your life as the biggest star in college sports leads number 3 Iowa against Maryland. It all tips off tonight at 8 Eastern on Fox as she pursues Kelsey Plum's all-time women's basketball scoring record.
She's good.
Yeah, what a show. And she never seems to disappoint either.
No.
And with all eyes on her, she's handled it extremely well.
Yep.
Maybe we'll get an LSU-Iowa rematch.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, I'd take it.
That'd be fun to watch. All right, Grand Fa. Only one strike thus far through 5 frames for the Lumberjacks. Oh, boy. Yeah, that looked like a handful at the bottom with his release, and it jumps up and bites a little bit too much of the head pin, leaving the 6.
We're in a race for 2, so the winner of this first game obviously will lead 1-0. If they win the second one, then that's it. Pack it up. However, if we're tied at 1-1, we will have a 3-shot shootout. All right, no trouble at all for Graham.
Make sure you're ready to bowl, though, okay? Good shot. I like that.
And Tim Mack saying, make sure you get ready to bowl. Is he talking about somebody in the lineup, or maybe talking to Tom Smallwood?
No, he's talking to Arturo Quintero, who came dangerously close to a shot clock violation. I'll get to the new rules right after the shot by Richie Teese.
Crossed over and got a trip.
Yeah, big miss there. Look at the numbers here.
Look at the reaction.
All right, so the new shot clock rule, the players have 25 seconds from the time they touch their ball to begin their deliveries. You take another look at the crossover hit by Richie Teese. Big shot because it doubles up the Kingpins. Now, the first violation will be a warning. The second violation and further violations will be called a foul and be marked as 0.
Oh, and a split. And he got that off, by the way, in plenty of time.
Another good one.
The split broken up as the 10-pin was kicked down, so another single pin for the Lumberjacks in the shootout. If we do have a roll-off, by the way, the Lumberjacks will have the choice.
All right, so there's still more to this shot clock thing.
Wow.
So, you know, it used to be where it was just a fine and the players are just like, you know what, I'm just going to pay the fine.
Yeah, take it out of my check.
Now you can get 0, right? But also the players will be given a 1 15-second timeout per game. They can see the shot clock. So if they see that they're running out of time, they can actually call a timeout and reset.
Come on, one time here, get us going.
There it is. And it's very easy for the players to see as you're pulling back. And we take a look at Kyle Sherman, so it's no secret where that shot clock is.
So 25 seconds, you have to be moving. It used to be 25 seconds, you had to let go of it.
And with about 5 on the clock, he goes right through the face, and this time you don't get a trip 10.
Come on.
Work hard here.
Come on, Kyle. Spare it up. Let's go.
Never fun to shoot at, but for a professional, this has a high make rate.
Well, they don't call it the baby split for nothing. If you're going to shoot at a split, you want it to be the smallest one, the baby. The object is to cover both pins with the bowling ball. Right side of the 3-pin, deflect into the 10. Kind of like that.
The Randy Peterson Bowling Clinic is available. So still way too early to call this match. Just a 13-pin difference. Chris Prather, the Shark, stepping up. He left a couple on the deck last time, and a shot he was not satisfied with. And he's really going to be dissatisfied now.
Run it down. Run it down, man. Make the spare.
Big miss right, and it will never get back from that spot with urethane.
Make the spare here. Come on.
So now about a 36% average rounding up. See if he can fly that head pin into the 10. Like that. Well done by Chris Prather. That's a big momentum maker perhaps for Portland.
Hey. Well, great cover by Prather to give him some hope heading into the 9th and 10th frame.
I just don't think I can. We were talking about it earlier. Go the other way.
And right before Marshall Kent stepped on the approach, Carolyn kind of rushed up and said something very quickly to him and then walked away. I don't know what it was, obviously. Let's see if it was some advice that will turn out to be helpful. She said, throw a strike.
Come on. See, that's what we've been missing.
Let's go.
A double for Marshall in his 3rd and 8th frames.
Well, big shot now for Kyle Troop to give his squad any chance of grabbing game 1. He needs to strike here in the 9th to set up the 10th frame for Big West Milwaukee.
That looks better.
See, and that spot right there is perfect. Now remember, Prather was 2 inches right of that and didn't hit the head pin.
Way to give us a pop, baby. Way to give us a pop. Good shot. Good boy.
Keeps him in the game. You see the max score, however, definitely in favor of New Jersey to take the 1-0 lead. BJ Moore knows how to win in this environment. But of course, this year with the Elite League, all the different centers, all the different conditions. Light and not quite right.
All right, come on. Stay with it. Let's go.
Yeah, but it should still be 9 spares. You can see that was almost 20 miles an hour up here at the top of your screen.
Yep.
Well, there's some bowling brains that we showed
Yeah, you
right
think?
there, huh?
How about,
my goodness.
How about a couple of mega Hall of Famers for managers?
And a mega Hall of Famer on the bench.
Yeah, and that mind.
Be you. Let's go. Be a leader. Come on. One at a time.
Talk about beautiful minds. They're over there on that side. Oh, look at them right there, the 3 of them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think it's, especially with the urethane.
It's a triangle of knowledge you're not going to see too often.
All right, now can somebody throw a strike with a reactive resin bowling ball? West Milwaukee's going to try to do that right here in the 10th. That's got a hook.
He threw it a little harder and a soft 8-pin.
He got that to nearly 20 miles an hour.
Remember Prather, he was at the 4th board.
Right.
That's an inch left of that.
I thought it was a good shot.
He didn't hit the headpin. That's urethane. Wes is using reactive resin. He was aboard right of that. Still got to the headpin, but just barely. And now they're in. Now they're in a tough spot. They're in jeopardy of losing game 1. But I promise you, they will be very happy to get off that left lane.
Has that been the trickier lane?
Boy, it sure was in the first match.
They need a little momentum, even if it doesn't win them the game. There's something to feel good about, and that is a terrible break for Wes.
Aboard left, he goes 4-pin.
Aboard right, he's light.
Aboard right, 1 inch right, he was light. 1 inch left, he went 4-pin. Bye-bye, left lane. Bye-bye, have a nice day. No, I'm not taking it out to dinner after we're done.
Nor will I text you later.
Yeah, no, nothing.
7 to win. That's 7, plus a few more. So it's the Kingpins of New Jersey taking the 1-0 lead in the race for 2 against the Portland Lumberjacks with a victory that could be as high as 218. We're going to step aside and get you ready for game number 2. Will it be a sweep for the Kingpins? They'll pick up the win, even though it feels like a Portland home game here. An incredibly enthusiastic group here in this race for 2 format PBA Elite League. The folks here at Royal Pin Woodland have been magnificent in creating that Portland-like environment. Now, the New Jersey lineup, guess who's showing up there in the number 2 position? Chris Barnes coming in for Kyle Sherman.
Who?
Kyle Sherman.
No, the other guy?
Oh, I'll think of it in a second. Richard Teese didn't cross over and didn't get a strike.
Chris Barnes.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, one of the greatest ever.
Yeah, think so. He's known as Ryan's dad.
Boy, Ryan sure put on a show last month, didn't he?
Yes, that was magnificent.
Gets a commissioner's exemption into the pre-tournament qualifier, makes it through that, makes it to match play, and then makes the show.
Yeah, not bad.
What a showing by that young man.
And his teammate Spencer Robards makes match play here at the U.S. Open.
Yes.
My goodness, the youth movement in this sport is tremendous. So the Portland lineup, we see a little swap here with Quintero moving to the number 3 position and Chris Prather moving to the number 2. Otherwise, it stays the same. Tom Smallwood remains the alternate. Just a lack of striking for this Lumberjack side. I thought maybe a newer lane, a different lane, I should say, would give them a better look, but we'll see how it breaks down over the next few shots. No trouble there for Fa.
One back, and we should be good because it didn't break loose.
I didn't miss that.
And the old master steps up with urethane. Really good at going straight. And just a Hall of Fame, brilliant career he's had.
Ooh, wraparound 10. He threw the fill ball while we were in break and struck.
That was way more curved than I thought he would use, but look at the ball speed at just under 18 miles an hour. I thought he would go much straighter than that. But that left lane, man, it's pretty tricky. Look out.
He covered it. I think he feels the same way about it that you do. So Prather now in the number 2 position. Chris did not do well on the left lane. Did not strike.
Look at this, ball change.
Yes,
going
sir.
to reactive.
You tried urethane on the left lane earlier. And that is perfect.
Good job. Way to go, way to go, way to go. Good job, way to go.
19 and a half miles an hour for Prather and a devastating strike. Speaking of people who had an exhausting U.S. Open trip, Marshall Kent is hovering around the top 5 for quite a while.
Right there. There's that left lane.
Earlier today, we had Waco defeating Motown in 2 games. So the Waco Wonders, the defending champions, are 1-1. The Motown Muscle dropped to 0-2.
And there's a difference 1 mile an hour makes, right? Chris Barnes' ball from the same spot gets up to the pocket. His doesn't.
Ooh, I thought we had some really weird trip right there.
Come on, catch it.
So Quintero, who loved Portland, Maine and Bayside Bowl so much, he moved there.
Yeah. And he shows up here with a hairdo that would make the late, great Jimmy Buffett proud.
That was tough. Ooh.
Good shot. I like it. Good shot. Get two, get two, get two.
Well, he may be looking for a margarita after that shot.
Okay.
That's a mistake. These new urethane balls are harder. They don't hook as much as the old urethane balls, and so they're not as reactive.
Move off of it.
I moved one.
Move two.
So he's saying I moved one board. Tim Mack is telling him we'll move off of that last shot. So he's probably going to move his feet and his target a board or 2 to the left the next time up on the right lane.
Wow.
Beautiful shot.
I was going to say the exact same thing as the ball hit the pins. Figured he had a strike there, but BJ will have to shoot the 10-pin. This is a quick look at how this PBA Elite League looks for 2024. 14 rounds of head-to-head competition. 10 of these matches will be on FS1. The other 4 will be on Bowl TV. And all postseason matches, of course, will be televised. And matches on Bowl TV will take place following practice session of each PBA Tour stop, excluding this tournament and the USBC Masters. And oh my, unexpected, unforced error by Moore.
And gives it right back to the Lumberjacks.
And one last thing I want to add on the team format for the season. Any ties in the standings will be broken by head-to-head match results or total pinfall accumulated throughout the season. Okay.
You see just how straight that is, and that's probably the deepest I've seen urethane go down the lane today.
That's another modified Weber. Not a full Weber, but a modified Weber.
What a great react.
Yep.
Yeah, God, I think I pulled my back.
Did you hear him? I think I pulled my back. A big shot here for Packy to kind of get things back in the right camp here for the Kingpins. There you go. That's what an anchor bowler is supposed to do.
To me. Come on. Give me one.
Yeah, and a little jawing with Kyle. Why not? Kyle can take it.
Big man has stayed with reactive. throughout the match.
He's got a tight window, though, doesn't he, to fit this? Oh, yes!
I think the right lane's way easier with reactive than that left lane.
That is back-to-back trip breaks for the Lumberjacks, and they are leading through 5. The race to 2 may take some extra time. It will take extra time if the Lumberjacks pull this one out. The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Bolero, the #1 place to bowl, party, and play with over 340 locations nationwide. Head to Bolero.com today to find a center near you. And by Go Bowling. For friends and family fun, log on to GoBowling.com to find a center near you. So you see the Kingpins trailing by 25. If they can rally, we will not have a 3-ball roll-off. That's not exactly a rally starter.
Let's go.
That left lane is ugly.
He hit up on that one as soon as he let it go. Come on. Stay with it. Let's go.
Carolyn Doran Ballard, along with her husband Dell, the managers of the New Jersey Kingpins. You can hear Carolyn offering encouragement. Her daughter Alyssa is also here, a wonderful college bowler in her own right. And it's going to get even more difficult for the Kingpins to bounce back. And now you have to figure that both managers have put some thought during that break into who's going to be in that 3-ball roll-up.
And crazy to think that we had 2 Queen Baker games in game 1. And now the Kingpins have 3 open frames through 6.
Strike here from Graham Faw would put the Lumberjacks on cruise control.
Oh my goodness. Well,
that's, I think, the first lefty to have missed the head pin today.
There's this guy that used to announce baseball. He'd say, just a bit outside.
Just a bit outside.
Luckily, this stayed on the lane, but Graham Faw, not a very well executed shot. You can see that by his reaction. But a spare here and all is forgiven. You can't give an opening right back to the team that just gave you one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, good cover.
So Chris Barnes, who did not bowl in the first game, now a major factor on the PBA 50 tour, but he will dabble in the PBA as well. Oh, and that goes through the nose a little bit. So the left lane has indeed become a major player in this battle between the Kingpins and the Lumberjacks. It could have been a whole lot worse, as he knows.
Yep, that one looked like it read early, you know, and all that urethane going down the lane, especially in that spot. The ball reads early, goes high, and that's what looked like happened to Chris on that shot there.
Is there such a thing as too much urethane?
Well, after a while, absolutely, because the surfaces of the urethane bowling balls are sandblasted. They're so rough and coarse that they beat the front part of the lane up.
Funny, Prazer's immediate reaction to that shot was he didn't like it.
I wish I could hold on to it. It's flying off my hand.
He hated it,
Run it
and
over.
it went ring 10.
It's fine.
It was just a pinch inside.
And when he says he's flying off his hand, how do you interpret that?
His hand's coming out of the ball a lot faster than he wants it to. It's like the wet bar of soap release, you know, where all 3 fingers kind of come out at the same time. It's like you're trying to grab a wet bar of soap, and that's kind of what he means. So his hand's too fast, the ball's too quick out of his hand.
It is like.
So Marshall Kent, still a little bit of hope for the Kingpins, but he has to be flush here.
Another ball that read early, another urethane ball that read early on the left lane for Marshall Kent.
All right, no trouble there for Marshall. The PBA is proud to have Boulders to Veterans Link as the official charity of the PBA Tour. Since 1942, through the support of the bowling community, BVL has raised more than $56 million for veterans. To donate, go to BVL.com. The great Johnny Petraglia, part of that organization.
Great charity, and proud for our tour and us to be a part of it.
Arturo.
My goodness.
Well, there's a lot of traffic there, and nothing's going to take out that 10 pin.
I mean, but that was way inside with the urethane.
Run it over, buddy. Run it over.
Amazing that this one actually gets back to the head pin. Pretty big adjustment for Arturo from the last shot he threw on that right lane.
Good job, Nino. Good work. Good work.
And a good cover.
Great shot. I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
At least 3 boards left on that last shot with urethane.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big move. Maybe a little softer speed, and it gets around the corner. Now BJ Moore left lane trying to keep the Kingpins in it.
That looks pretty.
Beautiful shot.
Yep.
And look at those numbers and how straight he's going through the front part of the lane. Just a 2-board head belly.
So an opportunity here for Kyle Troop again, the number 3 seed for tomorrow's U.S. Open, looking for his first U.S. Open title tomorrow. But right now, I'm sure his thoughts are, let's get to that roll-off.
Kyle Troop runner-up here last year to E.J. Tackett in the U.S. Open.
I think that surprised him a little bit.
I got a pink one over here, I think. That one may be me. Thanks, Richie.
So who do you go to for your 3-shot shootout? Who are your people? Who has the best look for these two teams? So the questions that are going to be answered probably very shortly.
Yeah. I mean, that frees me up for the roll-off now.
Yeah, 100%.
That was to 6.
Well, I mean, Kyle has to be in the.
Well, I'll tell you what, that shot was 4 boards right of the last shot he threw on that lane, and it still got to the pocket. So that tells him a lot about what he can do with that ball and the area and the zone that he's playing.
Aki with a powerful strike.
Max score for the Kingpins, 178. If Packy does strike out, Wes needs a mark.
There's Wes Malott standing by, able to bowl today after some back problems forced him to withdraw while leading the U.S. Open.
Well, that made Wes Malott's life so much easier. Now all he has to do is stay upright and stay behind the foul line, keep it on the lane. And by all intents and purposes, we're going to a shootout.
The shootout will be 3 frames, or 3 shots actually. No spare shooting, it's just total pins for 3.
Yeah, so do the math. If you throw 3 strikes, it's 30, right?
Yep.
If you throw 3 9-counts, it's 27. No spares, just count. Wes Malott finishing up the 10th frame right here.
And we're going to the shootout.
teams have to decide, all right, which three are we going to choose?
Well, who do you pick if you're Tim Mack? We'll go and start with Portland first.
I think Prather has a great look. I would go Prather. I would go definitely Kyle Troop. And I don't know. I guess you got to stay with the big nasty.
First. We're going first.
Going first, said Tim. Now Wes has to finish this up because don't forget, one of the two tiebreakers is total pinfall for season standings. So he's got to finish this game out. This is going to matter perhaps later in the year to break any kind of ties in the standings.
Hey, that was a shiny one?
It'll be Wes, Prather, and Kyle, as you called, Randy. What about Carolyn? What is she and Dell? Who do you go to there?
I go BJ Moore. I go Packy.
3 balls cumulative total. Right?
And I go Chris Barnes.
Okay.
And if not Chris Barnes, I go Marshall Kent.
Yeah, I think Marshall might have to factor in there somewhere, but we'll see. We do have NASCAR coming up. Clash at the Coliseum.
We're going to win this game because that's what we do. All right? We're going to lead off with the big man, get us going because he's loose. You take us in the second hole. Kyle, you take us home, right? We're going first. We're leading off.
So each team selects 3 players to roll 1 shot each. Higher 3-shot total wins. If still tied, you continue until you have a winner. An additional shot.
You and you. Okay? All right. Let's go. Ready? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
And Carolyn has made her call. She's heading over to tell us. Or
my bad.
Looks like Kent, Moore, and Packy on the Kingpin side.
Let me know what happens after that. Okay, got it.
Troop, Malott, Prather for the Lumberjacks.
Same lane, status, same lane.
And I would start, if I were the Lumberjacks, I would start with Wes Malott, who just came off of the 10th frame.
And it certainly appears to be the case.
And came off the 10th frame where he was perfect, 3 for 3. Bounced it. Oh my goodness.
The Greek Church.
That's 5.
We got you.
Wow. That may be like insurmountable. 5? They could throw 2 X's behind it. It's 25. All the Kingpins would have to do is get 9 and three shots
nines,
in a row.
3 nines lock them out. Not going to get 3 nines.
Interesting.
8 to 5.
All right. That's just 5 out of play.
Yeah. So now it's must strikes for the Lumberjacks. Time to get the axes out.
New Jersey on the tougher lane, the left lane.
Oh, baby. One good one.
Prather, who complained that everything was going too fast out of his hand in his last shot, although it was a good-looking shot.
He likes it.
He should. They're still alive.
Great shot by Chris Prather, keeping them alive, but just barely.
All right, good job.
So 15 now for the Lumberjacks.
BJ Moore, anything more than 7, and they will have the lead with 1 shot left.
BJ had a beautiful strike his last ball. That's a 9er.
Yeah, and that's good. That was a really good shot, but 9 is fine.
17-15 with 1 ball left to determine the winner.
With Kyle Troop striking on this next ball, the Kingpins would just need to have Packy Hanrahan get 9 for the win.
Portland trying to go to 2-0. Kingpins looking for their first win of the season.
What a great shot.
Yep. He loves it. This is what Kyle Troop is so good at. In the spotlight.
Good dig.
He bathes in it. He loves it.
Yep. Ready for more tomorrow. Now, Hanrahan. 9 for the win. 8, there's a tie. 7, they lose.
taking plenty of time. He's under 10 on the shot clock already. Two. He got it off in time. And it's hello, doctor.
We got a tie.
We are going to do it again for another frame.
Right here. Let's go.
Artur, go ahead, Dave. Artur's coming up next for the Lumberjacks. Henry had chance, went through the nose, was lucky to get 8. Could have been a lot worse.
Imagine that the Lumberjacks might steal this after an opening 5.
All right, remember the last couple of shots that Arturo's thrown. But this guy loves the spotlight and loves pressure.
You have to strike to win. It's 9 to tie. Anything less, and it's a W for the Lumberjacks.
Great shot.
Well, look who's coming up.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be him.
Well, safe to say that he's been in this situation before a few times, huh?
Sticking with the urethane.
Money! Kingpins, take it!
One of the best ever. Just nailed the coffin shut.
The satisfying moment of the match is sponsored by Snickers. Nothing satisfies like a Snickers, and nothing satisfies like a perfect shot when you have to have it.
What's up, guys?
Tomorrow, live at 3:30 Eastern on Fox, we'll crown our second major champion of the season. It's the U.S. Open presented by Go Bowling here from Royal Pin Woodland in Indianapolis, featuring 5 bowlers who have a combined 28 major titles. For Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Lamont. You've been watching the PBA and FS1. Now let's join Mike Joy.